In this video, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I did a video about the Confederate flag being removed from the South Carolina state capitol, and it also sparked conversation about the Civil War, which is a good thing because people seem to forget about history unless some kerfuffle is brought up to make people talk about a certain incident where that flag or whatever has been involved. Now, look. This is where I stand on the Confederate flag. I don't like the flag. It's disgusting. It's appalling to me. It's anti-American to me. It represents racism. It represents the fight for slavery. And it just represents such a wrong time in history. Although it is history, look, the flag being removed from the state capitol in South Carolina, legally it has no right to be flown in front of the state capitol because by law, any federal building, a courthouse, a police building, a state police building, any federal building, no flag other than the American flag has the right to be flown above the American flag except for one point during the year, which is the UN flag. Until that point, no other flag than the American flag has the right to fly higher than any other flag. But certain flags are just so disgusting, like the Confederate flag. Now, I'm not saying stop buying Confederate flags. If you are a true racist and you're not afraid to show that you're a racist, good. I thank you for making it obvious to the rest of us who some of the worst people in this country are. No one's saying you have to stop buying the Confederate flag. If you want to get a Confederate flag to fly in front of your house, fine. If you want to get the Confederate flag to hang over your fireplace, fine. If you want to put it in a museum or hang it out in a flagpole in front of a museum preserving the history of the Old South, fine and dandy. Do what you want with the flag. Do what you want. Although, expect to be called a bigot, expect to be called a racist, expect to be called an anti-American. Look, the Confederate flag, in my opinion, belongs in either three places. Your home, if you want to, a museum, which most likely where it should be, or in history books and or movies documenting about the time where the Confederate flag was favored by all. And by all, I mean all people in the South. Like Gone with the Wind is a perfect example where the Confederate flag should be, because it's based on the Old South. And I love that movie, and I'm not a racist because I like Gone with the Wind. It's a classic film. Even non-racist white people like that movie. So, in a nutshell, that's where the Confederate flag belongs, either in those three places. If you don't want to fly it, because you don't want to be called a racist, fine, don't fly it. But if it flies on a flagpole at a museum, don't bitch and complain. Don't bitch and complain because that's where it belongs. Move on, because you already lost the Civil War. It's been 150 years already, so stop bitching and complaining. Or, if you really want to preserve your heritage, put it in history books, put it in textbooks, put it in documentaries if you want to see your flag so much. Those three options. I give you those three options. Either fly it if you want to. I don't agree with that, but fly it if you want to. Put it up on a flagpole in a museum, or put it in a museum, and or put it in history books and or movies documenting about that time period. Other than that, it has no right to fly on the state capitol, none whatsoever. And for the people who are defending this flag, like someone's burning the American flag, let me try to get this through your thick skulls. One of my friends, who normally sides with Republicans on certain issues, actually shared something smart. It's from Liberty News, the picture itself, and it says, "Share this because the media won't. The South Carolina shooter didn't just hate black Americans, he hated America." Which is 100% true. It's a picture of him burning the American flag, and you have these right-wing loons who listen to Fox News and saying, "Oh, he liked the Confederate flag, so we'll defend him." No. There were pictures of him stomping on the American flag, and even though they showed that on Fox News, they still defended him as if he did nothing wrong. But yet, here's Republican hypocrisy for you. They don't like the guy who did the Boston bombings, rightfully so, and people who aren't Republicans shouldn't like the guy who did the Boston bombings, but that's not the point. They don't like the guy who did the Boston bombings because he's not an American and he's a Muslim. Although, the guy who shot the church in South Carolina, now you have real conservatives who are distancing themselves from these Tea Party assholes. But these Tea Party assholes are saying, "Oh, that was an accident. He didn't mean to do that." Even though it was a terrorist attack, and even true conservatives are calling it a terrorist attack as well, these Tea Party assholes are still trying to protect this guy like he did nothing wrong. And these Tea Party assholes as well are still trying to cover up for cops who were racially motivated to shoot unarmed black men and or women and or children because they were being black. And I have a feeling those cops who shot unarmed black teens, men, women, and or children, support the Confederate flag. There's no doubt in my body that they support that flag. But the point being is, there's Republican hypocrisy for you. They'll chastise the Boston bombings person, but they won't chastise the shooter of the South Carolina church. That's Republican hypocrisy for you. And I applaud real conservatives who are distancing themselves from these Tea Party Republican assholes. They shouldn't even call themselves Republicans. Because true Democrats and Republicans, guess what? They know how to compromise. There's these people in office who call themselves Democrats, who aren't really Democrats, because real Democrats will compromise. Real Republicans will compromise. If you have somebody calling themselves a Republican and or Democrat and who don't like to compromise, guess what? They're not a Republican and or Democrat. They just want to sit in a chair doing nothing and just yell. That's what everybody does on basis at their homes. They yell and complain over stupid arguments. And at work, they yell and complain over stupid arguments while not doing jack shit.